So how to multiply with decimals. So the topic for this lesson will be called multiplying decimals, and the strategy is going to go like this. We are going to circle every number after the decimal. Then we are going to move this many spots away from the end of your answer. So in a minute, we'll explain how this strategy works, so it's okay if you're confused right now. So it's circle every number after the decimal, then move this many spots away from the end of your answer. So it usually takes students about 2 examples to really understand what that strategy is trying to say. So here we'll look at one example. So we'll start with $2.51 times 3. $2.51 times 3. Now this lesson right here assumes that you guys already know how to multiply. So we're not going to go through the steps of how multiplication works. We're assuming that you already know from elementary. So we'll work this out together. So 3 times 1 would be what? 3. 3 times 5? 15. Excellent. Carry the 1. 3 times 2? Add the 1. Okay. So we end up with an answer of 753. Now, that's perfect. You said bring down the decimal. This is what I don't want to happen, because what you're remembering is something that your elementary teacher told you, that when you get your answer, just bring the decimal straight down to the bottom. But that only works with adding and subtracting. Now we're dealing with multiplication. So when we deal with multiplication, what we're going to do is we're going to use this strategy up here. And if you use this strategy, you're going to end up with the right answer. So it says circle every number after the decimal. So I look for that decimal, I see it right there. I'm going to circle every number after it. There's 1. There's 2. So there's 2 numbers after the decimal. We're going to put that means that there are 2 spots. So that talks about the first part of the strategy, circle every number after the decimal. Then it says move this many spots away from the end of your answer. So I have to find the end of my answer right here, and I need to go 2 spots away. 1, 2. This is where the decimal goes. Now I know some of you are going to say, well, yeah, that's the same thing if I would have brought the decimal straight down. But I don't want you doing that, because when you have more decimals, place values there, you're going to end up with different answers. You're not just going to bring the decimal straight down. So here, our final answer for this problem would be $7.53. That would be the final answer here. So in a minute, you're going to see an example where there is a decimal on the top and a decimal on the bottom. And you'll see how the answer works there. So here's going to be our second example. We're going to have decimal 12 times decimal 7. And you can help me with this part. 7 times 2. 14. So we're going to carry the little 1 up there. 7 times 1 plus the 1, 8. Perfect. So our answer is 8, 4. But then we have to understand, okay, we multiplied with decimals. So I bring in the strategy of circling every number after the decimal. So there's 1, 2. Is there another one? Yes, the 7. So I have just circled all the numbers that came after the decimals. So in this one, I circled 3. So there are going to be 3 spots here. So from the end of my answer, I need to go 3 spots away. So there's 1, 2, 3. One of those spots that I moved is blank. What number means nothing? 0. And that will become our final answer. Decimal 0, 8, 4. And then we can also check it just to be certain that it is correct. We'll look here in the calculator. It was decimal 12 times decimal 7 equals decimal 0, 8, 4. Perfect. So this first example, I circled 2 numbers after the decimal. That's why I put 2 spots, and that's why I moved 2 spots to the left. The next example, I counted 3 circles, so that's 3 spots to the left of the end of the answer. 1, 2, and 3. So we get decimal 0, 8, 4. So we'll work on one more example, and then you should be okay with it. Let's do 78.1 times 0.25. So let's start. We have 5 times 1. 5. 5 times 8. 40, carry the 4. 5 times 7. 35 plus the 4. 39. Okay, so I used that little 4 that we brought up here. So because I don't want to get confused later on, I'm going to go ahead and scratch it out so I don't use it again. I'm done with the 5. So because I'm going to skip over this 5, I'm going to put an imaginary 0. So an imaginary 0, I'm just going to put a slash through it. That tells me that I'm skipping over that 5 and I'm going to the next number, which is 2. So I can start multiplying again. 2 times 1 would be 2. 2 times 8, 16. 2 times 7 is 14 plus the 1, 15. And then I add them. Excellent. So we have 5 and 0. Would be what? 5, 0 and 2. 2, 9 and 6. 15, carry the 1. 5 and 3. 8 plus the 1, 9. And then, so we get an answer of 19525. But we have to remember that we multiplied with decimals. So bring in the strategy of circling every number after the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 spots. So from the end of the answer, we have to go 3 spots away. 1, 2, 3. That's where the decimal goes. You end up with a final answer of 19.525. And then, just to be certain, let's check it here. 78.1 times 0.25. 19.525. 19.525. We know our answer is correct. Okay, so real quick, are there any students that are confused with why we put 2 spots here, or 3 spots here, or 3 spots here? Do you know where that number is coming from?
Yes.
Manuel? Like, where's those numbers coming from, the 2 spots and the 3 spots?
Because of the numbers that are behind the decimal before.
The ones that we did what to of them? The ones that we circled. So I circled 2 numbers, 2 spots. I circled 3 numbers, 3 spots. I circled 3 numbers, 3 spots. So perfect. So that's where we're getting those. So now we'll go ahead and we'll get some more practice with those.